What if you could be coached by two of the top coaches in America on two specific things necessary for your success: confidence and comebacks? He's got a boatload of confidence. When you are in the presence of people who have confidence, man, it rubs off on you.
It really does. And maybe as people are getting on, tell us about, you did meet with people in person at the lodge. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did a retreat at the lodge called Flip the Switch around a new book that I'm writing. And that is around the 5 activators of Prey Drive. And what was really cool about this was it was unscripted, meaning no PowerPoints, no handouts. It was 50 people, 40 to 50 people that had come in from around the country. And it was 3 days with me. And I had 20 concepts that I would teach myself if I had to go back and coach my 20-year-old self. Yep. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Go ahead. Unmute you there. There you go.
I was watching quite a bit online about it, and you could tell that a lot of good things were happening. But that leads me into a segue of, we're doing something together coming up in just a short time. Can you share a little bit about what we're going to do? And I can't wait to really start advertising this.
Yeah, we're doing a day called the Comeback Campaign, right? Originally called When Life Knocks the Shout Out of You.
Mm-hmm.
And we've repurposed it, renamed it for an appropriate name here. And that's coming up very soon. And within the next month or so, right? And we're going to be helping people with this confidence and comebacks piece in person. And let me tell you something. Doing the event I did this past weekend showed me the power of the human spirit. It showed me the power of bringing people together. One person said, and this will definitely be the case when you and I get together in person, is one person said he had been to 10 years of therapy and 3 Tony Robbins events, which he thought was great. He said, but in 3 days with you, Coach, changed my whole life.
See, this is amazing. Yeah. This is amazing. So it's coming up in August for everybody. Yep. And you'll see the dates. Coach will be pushing it on all his social media. I'll be pushing it on mine. But both of us coming together because it's time for your comeback. And there's always a season for a comeback, guys. There's a time and a season for everything. And so you have to seize the season. You have to seize the season. And that's why in the middle of COVID-19, we are coming together, and we're going to be very, very safe on how we handle everything. That's what Coach was doing with his last seminar he just did. We'll be very safe. It's going to be a safe environment, and it's time for your comeback. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful time, both in Nashville and also in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, and the date on that, for those of you that are interested, is August the 20th in Nashville. It'll be at my lodge. And like Tim said, we had a nurse there checking people as they come in. We've got 8,000 square foot to work with. We've got 2 training rooms, which is what we did at this past weekend. So we can put one group upstairs, one group downstairs. We can do simultaneously groups. We can put everybody, in space. So it all worked out really, really good. We sanitized it great. So I would really strongly, if you're part of this course, really encourage you to get your tickets to come and see us live in person, August 20th in Nashville. Right now, August 26th in Dallas, Texas. And we believe it's going to be an incredible experience. I know it's going to be an incredible experience. So if you think it's good like this, trust me, it's like watching the Beatles, right, on a movie or being in the room with them.
Exactly. I'm loving this idea. All right, let's go at it, Coach. I think you're going to go first again.
Yep.
And last week, wow. Great response from people, because I have some friends that are on this, and great response. And I'm excited what's going to happen this week.
Yeah, I am too, because what we're going to do is get into the mechanics of confidence. And I like to break things down. You guys know I'm a former basketball coach, and we break things down, right? We teach the whole, and then we teach part, and then we come back to the whole again. Mm-hmm. Okay. And last week we talked about confidence being the memory of success. Okay. And we talked about it being an internal knowing that you can create or manifest what you see in your mind. Okay. And I asked you, do you believe in your future? And of course, every person is going to say, yes, I believe in my future. And I said, well, where does it live? A lot of people do this. It lives in here. Well, it actually lives in your imagination, right? And no one can see your imagination except you. So I ask you, would you be a disciple to your own future? The word discipline is a derivative of the word disciple, which means to give yourself to a person or cause you believe in, right? Jesus had 12 disciples. We know, give yourself to a person or cause you believe in. Will you become a disciple to your own future? Because I just said in a meeting, guys, and where I'm building a greatness factory here in Nashville. And I said, how much is it going to cost me to do this? And he said, this is a space I'm renting. I will not even own this space. Right. And he said, it'll be 1.6 million to build this out, to do what you want to do, coach. He said, I'll need a check for 800,000 to build it out. I'm going to write a check for 800, and I need you to write a check for 800,000. Now, when he said that, guys, I went, woo, here we go. But this is a vision that I have of having greatness factories. And to have 100, I need to have the first one. And for just a second, when something hits you like that, it's like, okay, man, that's a big check. 800,000 bucks, a big check for a place you're not even going to own. It's a place you're going to rent, right? But it's going to be incredible. And this is a vision that I think God gave me several years ago to have greatness factories. And for a couple of years, I got scared and wouldn't do it. But now I've got the confidence to do it. Okay, I'm going to become a disciple to my own future, guys. And hopefully, when you understand, I remember when T.D. Jakes was talking about taking his play and turning it into a movie. And this gentleman was telling him, hey, you need to turn this into a movie. And T.D. Jakes said, we don't have the money. I don't have the money to turn it into a movie. And he said, the money? Oh, we'll find the money. Finding the money will be the easiest part of this. And that gentleman who told him that was Tyler Perry. And so when you think about it, when we want to do something big in the world, we got a vision, an internal knowing that we can create or manifest. And a lot of people, when they have that scared vision, they contract and retreat. Okay. And as soon as he said the 800, I went, it's a big hit to build this out. But you know what? It's going to be incredible. And I'm not looking at having one. I'm looking at having 100 of them. And I can't have 100 unless I have the first one. So let's make that first one real nice. Now, if I said I don't want to come up with the 800, I can go out and raise the 800,000, guys. That's nothing. Okay, that's nothing to be a part of what I'm trying to do. But these things have the potential to bring in $1 million to $2 million a year, right? It just costs the 800 to get involved in it, right? So what I'm trying to teach you here is sometimes when you're low on confidence, you can borrow from somebody else. And I'm sitting beside a guy who's built all the big structures in Nashville, the tallest building in Nashville. That's who I'm having a meeting with. He's built every major condo in Nashville, downtown Nashville. This is a guy who's worth probably $100 million. And he's looking at me going, Coach, this is going to be incredible. I can't wait to be in there. I can't wait to be part of this. I'm so glad you're putting it in my building. So for some of you, you haven't worked the courage muscle enough to be able to make these big decisions. So when they come along, you get scared, you contract, and then you regret it, right? Here's the cycle we go through. Is we start with good intention. We fall off the wagon, and then we experience guilt. The guilt is associated with grief. What are we grieving? We're grieving our lost potential, right? We're grieving we didn't have the guts to do it. We're grieving we didn't have the confidence to fight through our feelings. And just because you got feelings don't make them right. Okay, just because you got feelings don't make them right. So I need to help you build a confidence muscle in you. So what I like to do is I like to break things down. And if you remember, I told you that my confidence was taken away from me because I gave it up when I was 25 years old to another person. And I put my destiny in her hands. Okay, and I felt like for a minute she kind of crushed that destiny, right? But it was my fault for disempowering my own self and allowing her weakness to control me. Now, to have a contagious confidence, and then we're going to get into what will erode your confidence. To have a contagious confidence, there's a cycle you got to go through that this gentleman taught me. His name was Tim Storey. And man, this has been one of the biggest things I've ever learned from Tim Storey is to do anything big in the world, you got to have a cycle. You first have to have a big revelation. And that revelation is a sudden dramatic moment. If you look up the word, right? You have a big revelation. Sudden dramatic moment. Boom. This is what I'm supposed to do. I know it. I can feel it. My whole self, my body, my mind, my heart, and my spirit. This is what I'm supposed to do. Because of the revelation, I now have a conviction. And the conviction is a deep-seated belief that you can make it work. Even when other people tell you can't. Because, you know, when I go back to my hometown tonight, I'm going to tell people, man, that greatest factory is going to cost me $1.6 million to build. And they're going, oh, coach, you know, it's during COVID. You know what I mean? Like, what if it don't work? And man, I don't know if I do that. Man, why don't you own it versus rent it? Does it have to be downtown Nashville? Can you not put it out there somewhere? Like, there's going to be all these people who are going to tell me that I can't do it. Right? There's going to be all these people. But see, now I have a conviction. And because of my conviction, I am willing to take the action to do it. Okay. And that's something my buddy Tim Storey taught me. And man, I look back on my life, 6 years old, I had a revelation. Everybody needs a coach in life. Everybody see that? 25 years old, I had a revelation about confidence. Never allow another person to stand between you and your destiny. Right? Everybody see where I'm doing this? 30-something years old, I have a revelation. I'm supposed to build greatness factories around the world where the greatest people come to. It's a hub of energy. Can you imagine what's going to happen when you put the best people in every community together in one place? Can you imagine the capital that will be raised, the projects that will be done? It's not called the complacency factory or the mediocre factory or the lazy factory or the average factory. It's called the greatness factory. Okay? So because of this, I want you to think now I've got this long obedience in the same direction. I've got this long obedience in the same direction. Okay? Now, if you haven't gone through that cycle, and Tim can speak to this when he comes on, is that, Tim, I notice when a person starts and quits very easily, or when they go through transition.
Yes.
And they have not gone through this cycle. They don't have the stick, man. When their confidence, remember what I said last week, is when you're low on confidence, you go back to old habits and new ways.
Very good.
You start the diet, but you don't finish it. You start the project, but you don't finish it because it was too hard. Right? If I've heard that once, I've heard it 100 times during this period. What's real hard to run a business during this period? Here's what if I told you that I will be 10 times better as a result of this period happening to me. It's worked muscles in me I've never worked. It's created creativity in me I never had. I've found more ways to do what I do, and because of it, we're going to be a whole lot better because of this period. That's confidence. Using a negative to convert it to a positive. Turning a liability into an asset. Okay. Some of you are struggling with that because every time it gets hard, you convert back. You don't know how to convert a hurt feeling to an action. You convert a hurt feeling to quitting. Okay. So my first exercise for you today is this. I look at confidence like this. What erodes it? We're going to talk about that today because some of you have things that erode your confidence. What builds it? How do you maintain it? How do you protect it? And how do you get it back once you've lost it? Remember, I wrote the book Swag because one of my buddies at 38 years old called me and said, man, my wife's down on me. My kids ain't listening to me. My job is not going well. And if you remember, I took him back to his high school days. And I said, you were the captain of the football team. You were voted most likely to be successful. I was voted Prince of Personality, by the way. I wasn't voted best looking or prom queen or king or whatever. He was voted the most likely successful dude to be successful. He was the captain of the football team. He dated the prettiest young lady in the school. His family was the most successful family in town. And here this dude is calling me at 38 saying, I lost all my swag. And I said, what you got to do, man, is you've let your wife erode your confidence, your kids erode your confidence, your job erode your confidence. Man, what you've allowed to is erosion to happen. Erosion is chipping away, like water chipping away at a rock. So I want you to think right now, what are the top 3 triggers that erode your confidence? What are the top 3 triggers that erode your confidence? Erosion is the gradual destruction of something. 25 years old, I allowed that young lady to erode my confidence. What about this one? The good opinion of other people. You study self-actualized people. I was going back watching some old Wayne Dyer last night, Tim.
Yep.
because Wayne Dyer was instrumental in my life. The Power of Intention. He talks about self-actualization, Maslow's theory. If you study self-actualization, there's X number of traits of self-actualized people. One of those traits of self-actualized people is they are totally independent of the good opinion of others. Isn't that good? Isn't that good?
Very powerful.
Self-actualized people, right? People that are operating at the highest frequency, confident, never allow other people to control their confidence. They are totally independent of the good opinion of others. Okay. Third, here's some other things that erodes confidence. Your feelings. I have a theory. Every night before you go to bed, you need to tell your feelings that you're in charge and not them. And every morning when you wake up, you need to tell them again. Because your feelings, let me give you some feelings. Fear is a feeling. It's an emotion created by a belief that something's going to harm me in the future. Right? Being offended easily is a feeling. Right? You're so sensitive. Every person that says something to you, you're offended by it. Nobody can give you coaching, criticism. Nobody can help you. Nobody can give you feedback. That's feeling. That's a prideful feeling. Right? Here's a feeling. I don't feel like working hard today. I don't feel like calling prospects. I don't feel like doing this, right? Big time confident people keep their feelings in check. Athletes don't feel like performing every night. Entertainers don't feel like performing every night, right? You got to start treating yourself like a big time person. You are a person of interest. People are counting on you to show up and grow up and deliver. We don't listen to our feelings, right? I'm not saying not have emotion and passion, but what I'm saying is don't let your feelings control you, because many times there's feelings and choices. Okay. And if I don't feel like doing something, therefore I don't do it, therefore I don't get the result, then my confidence is affected because I listen to my feelings. Okay. We have a theory in our office that roughly 16% of people that you present an idea to will be open and inviting to that idea. So if you call 30 people, roughly 4.8 will be open to the idea. What if you don't feel like calling anybody? So you only call 4 people. What's 16% of 4? It's a low probability. Well, here's the deal. When you don't get results, it's because you didn't feel like doing them. Your confidence is affected because you're getting bad results, but really you don't have confidence because you didn't work the muscle. You didn't show up. You listened to your feelings. Here's something that will erode your confidence: a lack of preparation. A lack of preparation. What about this one? Environments you're placing yourself in. You place yourself, how many of you have ever been in an environment where, right? How many of you have ever been in an environment where other people were chipping away at your confidence? What if I go to work all day and I'm Superman, I'm super coach, and I go home and my wife erodes my confidence?
Very good.
Could that happen, Tim?
Can happen.
People closest to you eroding your confidence. When I go home and tell my wife, hey, we're going to invest $800,000, she goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going to do that. This is the dumbest thing you've ever done. Here's the point. The people closest to you can erode your confidence if you let them. Okay. Too few leads will erode your confidence. Thin pipeline will erode your confidence. People you allow in your life who don't deserve to be there can erode your confidence. Okay, you and I are both friends with Tim Grover, and he talks about why do you allow people to go along the journey with you that don't belong to be there, don't deserve to be there?
Right? I like that.
So if you're out there, I want you to think about what you've allowed to erode your confidence. Was it a person from your past? Was it because you just don't prepare hard enough? Was it because you listen to your feelings? Something's chipping away at your confidence. Somebody looked at you the wrong way this morning. Somebody told you couldn't do it. You got to learn to convert a hurt feeling into an action. Big time people convert a hurt feeling into actions. Small time people convert a hurt feeling into a contraction. Okay, therefore they don't take enough action. So when I was thinking about it, putting the notes together for today, how does conflict affect your confidence? most of our anxiety is regret over the past or anxiety over the future. Most of our anxiety is regret over the past or anxiety over our future. Okay. Conflict can affect your confidence. Several years ago, I went through some really, really bad conflict with two people that I really trusted. They came into my life. They claimed to be really good friends of mine. They maneuvered their way into my life, and I completely trusted them. And they really took advantage of me. I had never been taken advantage of. Tim, you've been in this game a long time, and you've seen this happen. You've seen this happen to a lot of people you work with, celebrities. Yeah. I had never been taken advantage of. So I didn't know what it looked like. I was very trusting, very naive. And these two guys really got me in a bad spot. And it's terrible conflict. It tore me up. It tore my wife up. We couldn't believe people would do that to us. Probably cost us $500,000 to get out of it. And man, I really studied conflict at a very high level. And what I found was, I went to the Bible. What does the Bible say about conflict? What do the top experts in the world say about conflict? And I really kind of came to this conclusion, is that when you have conflict, you spend a lot of your time and energy in this conflict, right? And other people are controlling you. Yes. They're controlling your energy. They're controlling your emotion. They're controlling your passion. They're controlling your desire. I actually decided that much of the conflict we have in our world, which affects our confidence, is over money, worldly possession, and status. Mm-hmm. Much of the conflict we have. Now, you say, why does that affect you? Well, when people closest to you take advantage of you, it affects your confidence. You don't, right? You don't want to trust people. You don't want to get involved in business deals. You don't want to take risk. It's the divorced person that don't want to go out and date. It's the right. It's the person that, right. It's the person that's had a knockdown that don't have the comeback. It's the person that lays down because of something that happened in the past. Here's what I figured out. Conflict is necessary for expansion in life. What happened to me because of that is I came out even more confident. Because here's what I figured out, Tim. I could take a big blow and keep on going. Oh, yeah. Do you know that with my company a year and a half ago, through some accounting errors, and I tell people this, we couldn't find $700,000. We had an accountant come in for 3 to 4 months, completely screwed up all of our accounting. We got toward the end of the year, I kept saying, we're not collecting enough money. We're not collecting enough money. Like something's not working right. And we brought another accounting firm in. They said, Coach, there's $700,000 missing. And I'm like, 700,000? Like, did somebody steal it? No, nobody stole it. It's just your accountant set up your books wrong, and you're not billing your customers. So we went 3 or 4 months without billing our customers. Incredible. And so we're here at the end of the year, and we're trying to find $700,000. And somebody said to me on my team, who was working with me at the time, she said, Coach, the most impressive thing about you? And I said, no, what is that? She said, it didn't even faze you. You didn't even know, number one, that you're missing 700,000 because of how hard you work. And number two, you just kept on going, man. She's like, I've never seen anything like it. You just kept on going. Like the accountant told you, you're missing 700,000. You just kept on going. So what I learned during those cycles of those two things I'm trying to teach you guys is that when you really build a very strong confidence, you're going to be able to withstand these heavy blows, and you're just going to keep on trucking. With no confidence, I mean, how many people would that have knocked out? Tim, how many people would have just shut it down after these things? So here's the 4 parts of our nature that causes erosion of our confidence. Number 1, the body, right? You lose confidence because you don't feel good about your body physically. Your skill is not strong enough. That's the body. Because you got weak skills and you don't feel good about the body, you don't have good confidence. Second place, the mind. You're not studying. You're not reading. You're not engaging in high-level conversation. You're not placing yourself around big-time people. So your mind is bored. When your mind's bored, guess what you don't want to do? You don't feel confident because you don't want to place yourself around these people that are moving and shaking. The third place your confidence is eroded is in the heart. When you have a broken heart, when you have burnout, which is loss of all joy or passion, when you don't feel good about you and your relationships, your confidence is low. See, it's important to me, my relationship with my wife, because if she don't feel good about me, if my kids don't feel good about me, my confidence ain't good. It ain't right. So I got to work on these parts, right? I got to work on my body. I got to work on my mind. I got to work on my heart. Well, what if you have a broken spirit? What if you lose faith? Some of you have been knocked down pretty hard, and what's happened is you've got a broken spirit. So you've lost faith in something or somebody. That affects your confidence. So when you think about this concept of reaching your highest level, in my opinion, you have to diagnose what is eroding your confidence. Why are you not confident? Well, I'm not confident because I put all my time and energy in somebody else. I'm not confident because I'm not prepared. I'm not confident because I don't feel good about my body. I'm not confident because I've let my mind atrophy. Right? Okay. I've got a mother-in-law that we're doing some work with. My wife's mother is doing some work for us. And sometimes she said, I'm just not confident in these areas because I hadn't used a computer like this and I'm not up to date. See, you're not confident when you don't know how to do it. Okay. And I say you can do it, but you just need some training. When you get trained, you're going to be more confident. So let me kind of finish with this and then I'll take some questions right here. How do I personally build my confidence? Number one, for the body, nutrition and exercise. I was on the phone with my doctor in Houston today, #1 energy doctor in the world. And every time we get on the phone with each other, he said, what you want, coach? I said, more energy. He's like, man, you're clicking on pretty good cylinder. I said, there's another cylinder. Find another cylinder for me to click on. Okay, tweak this. Hey, sent me a new thing. Tweak this one thing. Tweak this. You're going to have a little bit more energy in the evenings, coach, because I don't want to give crumbs to my family. It's not right. No crumbs. I measure my days of success. If I go home tonight, my 7-year-old daughter wants to ride bicycles. I got enough energy to do it. And if I can't do that, don't matter how much money we made today. We failed. We failed ourselves. Okay. So #1, nutrition, exercise with the body. And I can give you some tips offline if you want to know what diet I'm on. If you want to know what doctor I go to, which is an energy doctor, #1 energy doctor in the world in Houston, Texas. I can give you all those things because that's very critical to my confidence. Number 2, every day I'm learning. Every day I'm learning something. I'm reading a book. Every weekend I spend studying successful people as a hobby, right? Documentaries, autobiographies, books of people. Okay. For my heart, I'm focused on 2 things, my relationships and my prey drive, my passion. And I'm trying to structure my business where I get to wake up every day and really be in my unique ability area. So I get to do what I love doing every day, what I was meant to do. And for my spirit, to me, that's a daily connection. Okay. I watch a sermon in the morning and a sermon in the evening as I wind down. So my connection is real important to my rhythm of my life. So look at what I'm doing, guys. I'm feeding my body. I'm feeding my mind. I'm feeding my heart. And I'm feeding my spirit. And that is me manifesting 4 things. And then I'm going to stop. The highest manifestation of these 4 things is vision for the mind, discipline for the body, passion for the heart, and conscience for the spirit. That is the 4 manifestations of a whole person doing it big. Okay. That's what I got for you guys today.
That's how you teach a seminar right there. Just phenomenal. When you got into vision, is this internal knowing. Tell us a little bit more about that. And if you have a comment for Coach on what he just taught on or a question, go ahead and just raise your hand so we know. But vision is the internal knowing. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, internal knowing is because of the work you do and the work you put in, right? You have a level of certainty that comes along with it, okay? And you have a specialty, okay? Because of this specialty and the number of times you've bet on yourself and come through for yourself, you have an internal knowing that you can create or manifest what you see.
Yes.
Okay. And that only comes through preparation. So remember, lack of preparation erodes confidence. When you've done it 10,000 hours with deliberate practice, you got a certainty about you. You know how to do it. You got to even when somebody comes along and says, you can't, Tim, you can't do it. Tim, it'll never work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You may say, well, it may not work for you, but it'll work for me. Because I know. And I know because of the number of times we've done it.
Yes. And I'm loving what you said about erosion, because I think there's a lot of people that feel like that you are fading away and you're only in your 30s.
Yeah.
You know, you're in your 30s and you're thinking you're fading. I'm fading. So here's a Coach Burt with all the responsibility, talking about taking care of himself, body, mind, and soul, to take it to the next level. And I think one of the things that pushes you, Coach, is that you think with an internal mindset. Is that inside of you, you know, because of your relationship with God, that you are going to live eternally.
Right.
And I think that when you live with a temporal mindset, you're constantly afraid of erosion.
Right.
So don't be afraid of erosion. Let's attack it.
That's right.
Let's attack it, and let's live long and strong. And I was looking again yesterday at Barry Gordy, who created Motown Records, because I was doing some research on him. He's 90 years of age.
Yep.
And he exercises.
Yep.
He has a trainer. He has great people helping him with his physical fitness, but also with his vitamins like you're doing.
Yep.
And he's a golfer at 90. So it's a new day, guys. We can live long and strong and not just sit there and wait to erode.
John Wooden was still taking meetings at his house. He was still talking to people at 98 years old. Think about that. Still mentoring, still coaching, still taking meetings.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah, still coaching.
Yes. Then I love this idea about the feelings, because if we woke up and just did what we felt like doing, I'm not feeling it today. And that starts when you're young, like little kids who don't feel like going to school.
That's right.
Or feel like taking out the trash.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, you know, as an adult, I don't feel like going to the DMV, just so you know.
That's good. That's good. Feelings will lead you wrong, guys. If you're going to be a confident person, you can't let your feelings run your life. And too many people, because here's what will happen. You won't put the work in. Confidence, yes. Memory of success. Success happens through repetition, preparation. So what happens is when you listen to your feelings, you don't feel like doing it. You don't put the work in. Because you don't put the work in, you don't have any success. Because you don't have success, you got a memory of failure. You don't have a memory of success. So it's not perpetuating.
Before I get into my notes, and if anybody wants to say anything, Coach, just make sure and tell me, because I can't see it. But if we could just deal with this subject that you just handled in such a beautiful way of conflict. Is that when you had the conflict with individuals that came into your life that probably should not have been invited into the inner circle.
Yep.
And I've always said they cannot get you on the backside unless you let them on the inside.
That's right. That's good.
And so you got to be very careful, because many times when you're moving very quickly in life, you start letting people in that shouldn't be in your inner circle.
100%.
And so now conflict is created, and the conflict can really be damaging to a person who's not supposed to be in that conflict 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. It'll start to wear you down to where you're not fighting the battles that you're supposed to be fighting.
Right.
And so, as people have said for years, choose your battles wisely.
Yes. And my granddad taught me, never wrestle with the pig. You both get muddy and the pig loves it.
What part of the world was he from? I like that one.
He was from Tennessee. You could pick that one, right?
That was good.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to say something, or should I start?
All right. Looks like we don't have anything right now. No questions. If you got questions, guys, we'll stop. This is for you. Okay. We're trying to help you build confidence and comeback. So if you got questions, put them in the chat box. I can ask Tim. You can ask me. And we'll come back at the end and take questions as well. So Tim, you're up, big guy.
Okay. Number one, great job, Coach. Just beautiful information. Okay. Last time I talked about life interruptions. And what happens is that you're going along in your life and you have an interruption that you did not ask for. And another way of saying it, it's things that happen to us that we would not have ever ordered from life's menu. Like nobody says, you know, when I'm a kid, I'm going to get lupus, or when I'm a child, I'm going to get asthma, or as a child, you know, I'm going to have terrible things happen. So these are life interruptions that take place in people's lives. And because I life coach people for a living, I talk to some amazing people that they spent most of their adult life trying to work through life interruptions that happened to them when they were children. Mm. And so I said to you that when a life interruption happens, most of the time people lose their momentum. So your momentum is your surge. It's a surge. It's a force. It's an energy. And what you sense coming off Coach Burt and Tim Storey is we still have our momentum, our surge, or force, or energy. I was with a group of people last night for a board meeting for a board that I'm on for a nonprofit. And one of the men that was there, that's an attorney, said, you know, Tim, you have like an energy coming out of you. You know what? Because I do. But part of that is because I put energy into myself. Right. And it's like Coach said, that for him, you know, he likes to listen to a sermon in the morning and a sermon at night. And what he's doing is he's feeding his spirit. He is feeding his spirit. He is feeding his source. And so he is not running on an empty tank. And so I think some of you have had life interruptions, but those interruptions hit you on an empty tank.
That's right.
I'm here to tell you, when you have a full tank and a life interruption hits you, you're going to have a bounce back that's a lot quicker because you're filled in your spirit. And you will have the confidence, as Coach is teaching, to bounce back. So when a life interruption hits somebody, many times they sit in this interruption or this setback. And this is so beautiful, guys. I can't wait to see you guys in person in Nashville and Dallas. Coach, I'm really getting excited about this because we're going to do this in person.
I know.
We're going to do it all over the world, I'm telling you. But people sit in this setback. And if you sit too long, you'll begin to atrophy. I mean, all of us have been in a situation where either you went to a wedding that lasted too long. I mean, Coach, I went to a college graduation. It literally went 4 hours. And I almost had to have somebody help me up.
No.
Because my legs had atrophied. So if you sit in a setback too long, then you'll begin to atrophy and you'll almost begin to go into a paralyzed state. I'll give you an example. I was doing a wedding for a woman who was on the show called Dallas, my good friend Charlene Tilton. And I was doing her wedding, and there was a lady that was there, and she was just around the area, and she noticed that the lady from Dallas was doing a wedding at South Fork Ranch. They actually did it at the South Fork Ranch for Charlene's daughter. And this lady came up, and she was looking at everything, and as she kept staring at me, she says, "Hey, I'm recognizing you. I recognize you from Dog the Bounty Hunter." And I go, "Yeah, that's me. I'm his life coach." And she goes, "Well, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." She said, well, I'm 74 years of age. And she said, I am in what you call a setback. And I said, okay, what happened? She says, well, I was married for many, many years. And my husband left me just about 3 years ago for a much younger woman. And so I said, so what has that done to your life? And she says, well, I'm just sitting around. I feel like I have no reason to live. And I said, well, it's very sad. But I picked up on something, Coach. I picked up on the fact that maybe this guy wasn't as good as she was fantasizing about in her mind.
That's right.
So I said to her, I said, he must have been a really funny guy. He had a good sense of humor. She goes, nope. I said, I bet he was really friendly. She goes, nope. I bet you guys had a great social life. She says, no. I said, I bet he was a master lover. And she says, Reverend. And she goes, nope. I said, so what am I missing? And I'm trying to tell you, Coach, she could not stop laughing. I think many times we sit in a setback because we romanticize about how great something was that we lost, and it really was not that great.
That's right.
And so some people sit in a setback, some people settle in a setback, and we really broke that down last time to settle. And then some people cement themselves in a setback, and that is when you make that part of your life permanent.
Yep.
And you go through a breakup, and then permanently you decide, I'm going to be single.
Yep.
Come on now. You broke up when you were 33 and now you're 48.
Right.
You know, you got room for some confidence and comebacks here.
Right.
All right. So some people sit, some people settle, some people cement themselves. Now, some of you that have watched me live have heard me speak about this, but I do it more in a charismatic way because it's on stage. But I want to break down some of these notes that I've added for this seminar edition. Is that Walt Disney walked into an amusement park and he said, you know, one day I'm going to build myself an amusement park, but mine's going to be different, better, and more magical. Now, the more I've been studying this, because COVID-19 will give you a little time to do some things you didn't have time to do, because Coach and I are used to just flying around nonstop, and we're not flying as much. And so, Coach, I've been doing a lot more study on Walt Disney, and the reality is he did not always have it that easy.
Yep.
So at the time when he walked into this amusement park, he was not the Walt Disney that we think about now that just had this magical life, but he was working through family difficulties, his own personal insecurities, his own issues with confidence.
Yep.
But yet in the 30s, he walks into an amusement park and says, I'm going to do my own amusement park someday, but mine's going to be different, better, and more magical. Now, what did that come out of? I believe his coach is teaching that he continually built his confidence to the point that he saw something that was like what he wanted.
Yes.
And he started to build his confidence and he said, hey, I can do it, but mine's going to be different, better, and more magical. Coach, doesn't this fire you up?
I'm thinking the Greatness Factory. What you're saying is what I'm trying to do with the Greatness Factory.
Okay, now this, I was just about to use this as an illustration. So when you talk to me about going to Nashville to do the Greatness Factory, is that one of the things is that you have built your faith and confidence to a degree that you say, let's build it different, better, and more magical in this magical area. Because he could do the Greatness Factory in Gizzard Creek nowhere if he had no confidence.
That's right.
Like, okay, y'all, we're going to build this Greatness Factory. It's in Gizzard Creek nowhere. You got to take 4 flights to get there. But it's going to make you great. Isn't this powerful?
I love it.
So
That's
you
right.
built your confidence to a point where you've seen other things and you said, I'm going to build my own brick and mortar, not just over a Zoom call or Facebook Live, where people can come into a location and they can feel the greatness coming out of the walls.
Yep.
I
That's
love
right.
this.
Yep.
I'm going to do it different, better. So I broke down the word better this morning. And Coach and I, we wake up super early, and I was fired up about today. So I know the word better, but I wanted to really break it down for today. The word better means superior.
Mm-hmm.
It means greater than. It means more advanced.
Mm.
It means an upgrade.
Mm.
So when you say, I'm going to do my life different, better, you're saying my life is going to be superior.
Yes.
Okay. Now here's where I want to challenge some of you, and I cannot wait to see you guys in person, because I feel like some of you on New Year's Eve of last year, you said 2020 is going to be great. It's a new decade, and it's going to be amazing. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And some of you have regressed to where you have been sitting in your setback and settling in your setback. And some of you in your mind and in your soul, you are cementing yourself in your setback of COVID-19.
Mm.
And you're forgetting the thoughts that you had in your mind and in your spirit, your vision, your internal knowing, as Coach said. You're forgetting what you said last year, what this year is going to be, and we're only at halftime.
Mm.
So how dare you, in front of the coach, quit at halftime?
That's right.
Coach, tell me how this fires you up right now about a team almost quitting at halftime.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are happy. That's exactly what you just said is exactly what a lot of people are doing.
Yes.
And have done. So it's time for a halftime talk. You know how great coaches come in and give that halftime speech? And it's like,
Exactly.
all right, he's right. We got to go.
Okay, so different, better. So better is superior, greater than, more advanced, upgrade.
Mm.
All right, so what's happening to my life and Coach's life is that you're going to keep seeing this come out of us. You're going to see it come out of us next year too.
Yep.
Because we are feeding our faith and we're starving our doubts. We are feeding our faith and starving our doubts. And so we are going from dimension to dimension to dimension. Anybody that is connected to divine source, that's what's going to happen. They're going to keep going from dimension to dimension to dimension. So you should start looking for different, better, better again, superior, greater than, advanced, upgrade. What is going to happen to my life, Tim Storey? I'm in the midst of all this. Somehow, some way, we're going to turn our setbacks into a comeback, and we're going to walk you through the process, okay? And your life is going to be different, better, and more magical. So let me break down the word magical. It means supernatural. It means extraordinary. Extraordinary. We don't do ordinary in his camp or my camp. We're not doing ordinary. If we go to a diner, we want to know what the specials are too. So you got the supernatural, you got the extraordinary, you have the astonishing. When was the last time you got astonished? Come on, people. Man, look at the 4th of July in the eyes of a 3 or 4-year-old that may have never seen fireworks. They are mesmerized. It is astonishing. I believe that at 40, you could get astonished. 50, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you can still get astonished. So life that's magical is astonishing. It's also sensational. Sensational. That is almost like a lost word nowadays. And you can go to a nice restaurant with someone and you'll say, how was your meal? They'll go, it was okay. I'm really thinking to myself, then why did I just bring you and spend all that money? I mean, there was years ago, you would ask a person, how was the meal? Sensational. Oh, remember this, Coach Burt? People would say this.
I do.
It's sensational. Ooh, her pie is sensational. Man, Mama's biscuits are sensational. No, a lot of kids today, oh, it's okay. No, we're looking for sensational, different, better, more magical. Now, watch this. You've heard me say this before. Watch me break it down. There's different levels of living. There is the mundane. The mundane is uneventful, unexciting, routine, inordinary. I'm trying to tell you, as Coach is teaching you on confidence, your life will not be uneventful, unexciting, routine, and ordinary, because your confidence will want to attack something.
Yes.
Now, that was very powerful, what I just said.
Yep.
When you get confident, your confidence will want to attack something.
Yep.
See, when Walt Disney got confident, he says, I want to attack this. I'm going to build myself a Disneyland in Orange County, California, and it's going to open in the mid-60s. My confidence makes me want to attack something. So Coach Burt can't help himself. He's going to write a new book. He can't help himself. He's going to do TV. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. He's got to attack something. He's got confidence. He's going to build greatness centers all over the world. He can't help himself because the confidence on your inside makes you want to attack something.
Yes.
You cannot stay mundane. So you have the mundane side of life. You have the messy. That's the disheveled, disorderly, chaotic, and confused. Number 3, you have the madness. And that's where some of you grew up in this, but you're getting out of it and we're helping you. That's the mayhem, the craziness, the turmoil. And some of you are so used to that when your life gets peaceful, you start knocking on the madness door. You start looking for madness because you're not used to the calm. So you got the mundane, the messy, the madness, and you have the magical. And the magical is where you're being taken, the supernatural, extraordinary, unbelievable, amazing, astonishing. And I'm going to close my part with this, and then we're going to give you a little time if you have a Q&A, if you have a question or a comment, but this is something you're going to love. I was talking to Smokey Robinson about his time at Motown, and I beg you to hear me. And some of you have some time on your hands. There was a Motown documentary that was done last year that was really, really good, that you could actually find it on YouTube, okay? And so I was asking Smokey about this. What was it like to work with the likes so closely, and I have it written down, like Stevie Wonder, like Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross in the Supremes, Aretha Franklin. So this is amazing, Coach, that they were all in one building that was called Hitsville, USA.
Nice.
You've seen the picture.
Yep.
It says Hitsville, USA.
Yep.
So they were proclaiming to the world, this is where we make the hits.
Yes.
Okay. Does this fire you up?
I love
on
it.
Greatness Factory?
I love it. Yeah. This is where we make the hits.
This is where we make the hits. Okay, so this is what Smokey says to me. He said, I'd lay down a track and I thought it was really good. And I knew Marvin Gaye was in one studio and maybe Stevie Wonder was in another part of the house. And I'd say to Marvin and Stevie Wonder, hey guys, come in here, listen to this. And they'd say, okay, now listen, Smokey, this is obviously brilliant, but if you don't mind, I would shift this a little bit. I would shift that a little bit. And I started thinking about this scripture, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so is one person to another. Okay, so iron can sharpen iron. So at Hitsville, USA in Detroit, these people got together and they began to sharpen each other. And ways that they did it, one is accountability. Like, come on, accountability. Another way they did it is they set a certain standard.
Yep.
Come on, coach.
Good.
They set a certain standard. The standard was, they would say, I don't think that's a hit. I don't think that's a hit. In other words, we're not done. I don't think that's a hit. We cannot release it from Hitsville, USA, because that's not a hit. We're not leaving until it's a hit. Does that fire you up?
I love it.
Okay, so let me close with this. Coach, me and you are not making B-side records.
That's right.
Now, hopefully you're old enough, because you're younger than me, that you remember the 45 had an A-side and a B-side.
I do remember, yep.
The A was the better song. The B was a not-so-good song. We don't believe in intentionally trying to make a B record. Welcome to Hitsville, USA.
I love it.
Coach Burt and Tim Storey. We're making hits.
Man.
Confidence and comebacks. Iron sharpens iron, brings accountability, raises your standard. And working together will help you to build something that much stronger. Man. What are we doing to you guys? We love you. Come on, man. I was up at 4:45 working on notes for you guys for today to build you that much stronger.
God, that was good. I'm going to tell you guys, for you guys watching this and the ones going to watch the replay, I'm in the motivation business. This is what I do every day. And that motivated me. Because I'm telling you, part of the comeback, Tim, is making up your mind that you're not going to produce B-side records.
This is it. I want you to use that all over the world.
Yes. I mean,
you could really own that, because people are thinking B-side right now. It's COVID-19.
Yep.
Let's just produce a B-side life.
That's right. Yeah. And part of the comeback and the confidence is having the confidence, the standard to get around the right people who says it ain't good enough. We're not producing B-side records at Hitsville, USA, guys. Good. That's good. That is really good, man. Woo. Man, I feel like I've worked out a second time.
Exactly.
That was really good. Really.
But this is life-altering information, Coach, for real.
Well, sometimes you need it's this concept of sometimes, guys, a lot of people that are in a funk right now need a reframe. They need to reframe the way they see what they're seeing. The way you see the problem is the problem.
Yes.
And sometimes you need a guy like Tim Storey come in and say, hey, the way you're looking at the problem is the problem. Like don't live a B-side life. You weren't put on this earth to let somebody knock you down 20 years ago and you stay down for 20 years. You weren't put on this earth to create average. Okay? You weren't put on this earth to do something ordinary. I told my wife once, Tim, we're going to live an extraordinary life. It's going to come along with extraordinary commitment and extraordinary sacrifice, but it's going to be an extraordinary life.
I'm loving that. And you're living it. She's living it. Your two children are living it.
So I think today was incredibly good. There's a big takeaway for me on the beat. The Hitsville USA was incredible because it constantly reminds you to protect your confidence and come back. You got to get around people that have a high standard.
Yes.
You got to get around people that will go, hey, Tim, I ain't letting you stay down like this any longer.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not letting you write a B-side.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you continue to walk underneath your potential. I'm not allowing it anymore, man. And very few people have friends like this who will tell them that. Like, what are you doing?
So powerful.
Time to get up.
So powerful. So just so you know, Coach and I will be live. We want to look you right in the eyes. And we'll be in Nashville, also in Dallas. We're going to be talking a lot about it on social media. But why don't you be the first to jump in on this?
Yep.
And we want to see you face to face. I'm trying to tell you, when you get around your mentors face to face, there's something about it. And there's a rubbing off of energy.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a rubbing off of energy in Nashville, in Dallas. And think of the different people that you know that are desperate for a comeback, that they're ready to have confidence in comebacks in their life. Please invite them. Please let them know. Some of you could even afford to sponsor somebody. Let's really have a life-altering 2 conferences, Dallas, Texas, and Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, and let me say this. It's called the Comeback Tour. I just posted the link to get your tickets. Guys, I made a decision. The word decide means to kill off. I've starved the fear. I'm killing off any fear. I made a decision to do my boot camp last week. It's the best decision I ever made.
Yes.
I cried. I laughed. I've gotten personal handwritten letters from people saying it changed their life. Thank you for moving forward. Thank you for not being scared to have an event. Thank you for pushing through. Thank you. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it was so powerful. I had to get my wife out there to see it. I went home on Friday and I said, you got to come meet these people.
Oh, yeah.
And so today I sent a message to Tim Storey and Sharon Lecter, who's going to be there. Sharon wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Kiyosaki. She's a good friend of ours. I had dinner with her 2 weeks ago in Scottsdale.
Wonderful.
This woman is powerful. And I sent a message and I said, guys, I just came off doing a live event. I think we need to move forward with the Comeback Tour. And both Tim and Sharon sent word right back. We're in. Let's do it.
We're in. Let's do it.
So Nashville, August 20th. It will be at my lodge in Nashville, Tennessee. It's about 30 minutes outside of Nashville. You got to come see this. Okay. You got to come see this. All right. And so I got a link there. Get yourself to Nashville. I promise you it will be an incredible experience. Get yourself to Dallas. It will be an incredible experience. Like I'm telling you, move forward. Push. The way you get out of a funk is you take action. Just like Walt Disney.
Yes.
Right? It's going to be different. It's going to be better. And dadgummit, it's going to be magical.
Yes. I'm excited. Coach, thanks for being so disciplined to bring us your A game like you do. I mean that.
Yep.
I think you're at an all-time high right now. You're looking so slender and sleek. I know we can get you straight into modeling, but I think that'd be a diversion.
Well, I've been telling all my friends that Tim Storey, celebrity life coach, said I had a face for movies.
You do.
So they're like,
I'm being totally serious.
They're like, oh, okay, if he says it.
Hey, you got it. You glow.
I'm like, he said it, man. We're gonna take it all the way to the movies. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
So thank you guys for joining. Tim, great job again. You're a mentor of mine and a friend of mine. And I deeply, deeply appreciate you.
Real brothers.
And so thank you so much, guys. If you got any questions, email me, coach@coachburt.com. We'll be happy to take that and get your tickets to the comeback campaign, the Comeback Tour, August 20th or 25th. Get in a room with us and Sharon Lecter. We got some other special guests. It'll be incredible. Trust me. It will just be an incredible experience. And I promise you, we had people last week from California, Tim. We had people from everywhere. We had a nurse there checking everybody when they come in. We spaced everybody out to make sure they feel good. Hey, it's a great experience. So we'll see you guys next week on Comebacks and Confidence. Thank you.